We didn't come with an icebreaker, Yanni, but I wanted to break the ice by saying, Knicks win. The Knicks have won.
The Knicks have won. The Knickerbockers of New York Island have...
Never heard it called New York Island before.
Well, because I think it's more than one island.
Is it like, what, like 2, 3, 4? What is it, like 9 islands?
Well, there's Staten
Island. What is it, like
right?
12 islands?
It might be 12.
It's over. Knick fans, this is not a dream. Your long, long wait has ended. Go ahead and cry.
Like baked beans are like English
Baked
food.
beans.
Baked beans and like bangers and mash. I think that's considered English food when you call it that.
And, you know, the...
like soft potatoes and
blood,
meat, no
blood
way.
sausage and
Sausage.
the pudding.
Blood sausage was my name when I was a gang member.
Yeah, blood sausage.
Yeah, I used to roam the streets with my boys. They called us the, after so long, it's hard to really refer to people in those terms. But at the end of the day, like we were all crammed in there, like 12 sausages,
like 12 blood sausages,
like
in
12
a can.
blood sausages in a can. Plastic tray, like 12 blood sausages in a plastic tray.
Yeah.
You know, that's why we were the plastic tray gang.
Yeah, that makes sense.
There was I was blood sausage. There was glove sausage.
Yeah.
There was mud sausage because he'd get down and dirty with it.
Get down and dirty with it.
You know, glove sausage was kind of like he'd steal your shit.
Absolutely. Then you had love sausage.
You had love sausage, who was like a honeypot situation.
Yeah. Real pretty.
It was really, like we would target people that were high up in the local jumping castle industry, right?
Of course.
Because they have a lot of illegal money they don't know how to wash. Because
of course.
One thing people don't know about, like, party jumping castles is they'll come to your place, you talk to the person right, you will be allowed to have the adult jumping castle.
Mm-hmm.
The thing about the adult jumping castle, obviously, it's much bigger. Everybody has to be naked when you're on it.
Mm-hmm.
And they fill the jumping castle with... like various gases in a gaseous form. You have nitrous, lots of nitrous.
You're going to have an absolute time on an adult jumping castle.
They're going to put
a lot of protrusions on there too.
A lot of protrusions.
A lot of suspicious protrusions.
Exactly. So that's the thing. But that money, obviously, you need to have something to do with it.
Yeah, of course.
So
you can't just,
that's what love sausage used to do. Love sausage would be like honeypotting the local jumping castle magnates.
People are entitled to their sexual proclivities. I mean, let there be 1,000 blossoms bloom. But I ain't spending any time on it. But I ain't spending any time on it. But I ain't spending any time on it. Let there be 1,000 blossoms bloom. But I ain't spending any time on it.
Hey.
Hi, Yanni.
Hey, Karen.
Now that we've gone over your crime days, I reckon we should have a look at some news today. Let's have a look at some news today.
We need to know what's going on in the world. There's so much, and yet
so little.
I mean, hey, look at them Knicks, huh?
Look at them Knicks, huh? You've done an incredible job of collating a bunch of articles for us, and then very kindly shot them my way to be like, here, select from this menu that I have curated. And I sat there slapping my hands like, I'm a hungry baby. Yum, 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 yum. And I was throwing food on the floor and picking up the things that I wanted and sticking them in my nose and stuff. And now we've got a little episode, which is kind of fun.
Yeah, and it was incredible because what you did was print off every article and then ball them up and put them up your nose.
Yeah. I ate some of them because I was just so I was so hungry for knowledge.
I remember when I was young... somebody was
Me
telling
and Susie had so much fun on our hands and skipping stones.
Who's Susie? What's that song?
Crocodile Rock.
Oh, yeah, I actually do know that song.
Anyway, go on, sorry.
Well, I didn't know about sight reading, which is like you just get a sheet of music and you just have to play it.
Oh, yeah.
It's a big thing in piano, being able to sight read. I can't do it.
Yeah, I think it's big in the orchestral stuff. It's like, if you're a professional musician, you should be able to just look at that shit and be like, oh, yeah, of course.
It's how you, like, make your music as a trade. I can't fucking do it.
Suzuki Kid.
Yeah, that's what all the kids who sight read will kind of say. They say it like that. It's like, oh, yeah, you did Suzuki. But I asked this kid, like, oh, my God, you have to sight read it? And he's like, yeah, you have to pull it out of your nose. And then he, leaves or whatever. And I'm dumb. I'm stupid. I'm a child baby playing the piano. And I'm like, pull it out of your nose. how am I gonna? And I was really scared. I'm like, how am I gonna fit a whole sheet of music up my
Yeah,
nose?
how the fuck are they? What is it? Really
How are they-
little,
what,
or
is
do you
it
have a really
tiny?
big nose?
Does
Like,
it have,
what's-
and I was like, oh, it's gonna hurt so much when they put the whole, like, it must hurt so much when you have it
Have to
pulled
insert
out
it.
of your
Yeah,
nose
yeah, of
and
course.
stuff like that. And then you need to play the piano, and like everyone's gonna see you take this thing out of your nose. You have to do that in front of everybody.
That's fucked.
Yeah,
You know, the best players can hide that they're doing it.
you hear
so it
that,
look like they don't
Playboy?
even-
You gotta hide that you're doing it.
You gotta hide that
Best
you're
players,
doing
they don't even know you hit them.
Real G's moving silence like lasagna.
it. Let's crack into one of these articles.
Yeah, yeah. Let's
I've
do some
forgotten
sight
which one we're
reading.
starting with.
Oh yeah.
Perfect. All right, let's begin with this one. This one's a little bit of fun, but we've got to be a little careful about what we're saying. But the article is Queensland magistrate suppresses identity of man with high public profile in extortion case.
High public profile.
Very juicy, Yanni. Very juicy. Yum, 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 yum.
Now, there's speculation.
Of course. And there's very little that we can actually say about this, but I think we can very carefully explain the issue without breaching a court order.
Yeah,
Because
we
that is kind
probably
of what
can.
the thing is. There is a court order
Yeah,
suppressing this
folks.
man's identity. But essentially, on a random Friday at the start of June at the Cairns Magistrates Court, something weird happened. The court had media and members of the public present as cases for driving, drugs, and allegedly the seizure of 2 pet turtles were being heard by acting magistrate Jelma Mioli.
Judge Mioli.
Judge Mioli.
Judge Mioli.
Hardly know her.
Hey, don't judge Mioli before you tasted it.
Don't judge Mioli, it's clean. So the people present claimed that 2 high-profile lawyers appeared in court to discuss a matter that was unlisted.
2 high-profile turtles, you say?
2 high-profile turtles, which I think like unlisted means that it's either not on the day's schedule or it is on the schedule, but it's like unnamed, like it's
Right,
not
it's
like
just
it's like private. It's just like
Case.
thing,
Citizen versus
XYZ
citizen.
or whatever. Yeah. Either way, the 2 lawyers arrived in court to discuss the unfair bail conditions placed on their client, a man who had been charged with attempting to extort his ex-partner. How, you ask? Well, by threatening to reveal the identity of a man she allegedly had a romantic affair with, a man who was described as a Queensland public figure. One of the lawyers, Bridie Billick, or Billich, I'm not sure.
Possible to know.
Anyway, so she's reported to have said that the man said the public figure's name out loud when saying like, hey, my client is getting unfair bail conditions because this implicates blah, 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 blah. And this sent like a shock through the members of the public and the journalists who were there because they were like, wait, sorry, who?
Everyone just turns
Sorry?
around like, wait.
Sorry, hang on, we're all paying attention now. Now, the conditions of the accused extortionist's bail essentially made it impossible for him to speak openly with his own legal representatives about like the whole situation. And his lawyers suggested that it could be because of this being related to the public figure. So they were like, hey, that's not fair. He needs fair legal counsel. This is discrimination, blah, blah, blah. So the judge approved new bail conditions, and after confirming with the lawyers that the plaintiff and the defendant could not be named in the media, so the woman and the ex-partner, the judge, so Judge Mioli, then left the courtroom for like about 40 minutes and then came back and was just like...
With a clean holy.
With a clean holy, and was like, I just had to confer with my superiors, whatever the fuck that means, about whether this public figure could be named. And she decided that, actually, you know what? No, you can't name him. I'm suppressing this.
Right.
Unfortunately, in the 40-minute interim between when she left and then came back, and that decision was like hanging in the balance, a member of the public named Shane Cuthbert tweeted out the name of the public figure saying, hey, this is happening. That's crazy.
And he's just there.
And he's just there. So he's there. He's according to the
Who's this guy?
Who's Shane Cuthbert? Okay, so Shane Cuthbert, it just seems to be like a guy who does like YouTube reporting sometimes. Like he seems like one of those guys who's, well, firstly of all, he's quite tatted up and he wears a suit a lot of the time. I think he's an ex-criminal and he kind of talks a lot about like being a reformed like convict.
It takes 8-9 generations to reform some of the
You know?
motherfuckers they sent here in the first place.
And he was in court because
He stole a loaf of bread.
no, because his 2 pet turtles got seized.
Oh my god, right. It's Shane's turtles.
Shane's turtles.
The
which
turtles.
I think
Shane turtles.
Shane turtles.
The turtles of Shane.
Shane's turtles got seized, and so he was in court being like, "Give me my turtles back," basically.
Yeah.
And then he hears this, and he's like, "Damn, that's hot. That's
That's
hot
hot
information."
news.
Because
You need
he's
a
doing
blackmail.
like he's
You need to
doing
be
like
give me my turtles back,
you
or
know,
I'll tell everyone.
or I'll tell fucking everybody. We'll have to bleep what you just said.
Yeah, I'll bleep it. Yanni, bleep this. Hey, I'm just gonna press it.
Okay, you've marked it 3 times to play.
I'm not going down for this, Karen.
I'm not fucking going down for
I'm
this.
not fucking going down for this, motherfucker.
Anyway, so Shane seems to be kind of like a low-level influencer. He does videos, he talks
yeah.
about his past experiences, and he comments on, like, you know, politics and, like, the criminal justice system and that kind of thing, right?
in the criminal justice system, turtles get taken.
Turtles get considered particularly heinous.
Turtle crimes are considered
Turtle crimes.
particularly shellous.
Particularly jealous. Anyway, so he posts something to Facebook, and he's just kind of like, damn, this is crazy, haha. The judge comes back, says, hey, actually, the whole thing has to be suppressed. But also, what she does at this point is she takes, like, the lawyers involved, so, like, both the defense and the prosecution, and, like, a couple of people from the media are allowed to go into a much smaller chamber, a much more private chamber, to kind of talk about, like, hey, this is going to be fully suppressed, like, we're not putting this guy's name out here at all. Both lawyers, so lawyers from both sides of the whole thing, they're both like, okay, we both agree that the defendant can't be named and the plaintiff can't be named, but we actually don't, neither of us have a problem with the, like, affair partner, this public figure being named. Like, that actually doesn't matter to either of us.
Right.
And the judge goes, actually, I think it matters a lot.
Right. While you were thinking about what both of you wanted, you didn't think about what I wanted.
Exactly. Leave room for Judge Mioli.
Leave room for Judge Mioli.
So they're like, yeah, he isn't accused of legal wrongdoing and he's not a victim of the crime. So, like, why would we suppress it? But the judge is like, nope, it's suppressed. Anyway, so that evening, Shane gets a call from the police and they're just like, hey, mate, you're going to have to take that down. You're going to have to take that post down. Court order, you're going to have to do that. And Shane's like, oh, all right. And he basically posts online, he's like, oh, because of, like, he's like, I support free speech and I don't think it's fair that I was asked to take this down, but I don't want the police to, like, come as, like, a SWAT team to my house, so I'm not going to do that. And given his, like, past history with, like, the criminal justice system, fair enough, he's like, I don't want to get involved in that shit again. Already done that, so fair enough.
Yep.
He takes it down. The thing is, obviously, it was already up, it had already been engaged with. If you wanted to Google, like, who that public figure was, you can still find a consensus of who that person is online. Like, you can't scrub that. That's done. Like, it's out there. But no media organizations are allowed to report on it.
You can find a consensus of who Shane Cuthbert has said that person is.
Yes, whether that is in fact the case, couldn't tell you. I don't know.
At the point of us saying you can't find a high-profile person denying that it's them.
Exactly.
Or anything like that either. So that's where we're at. But you can find a name.
Pretty much.
And it's Steve Irwin.
Anyway, there have been more, like, discussions in court and stuff like that, with also the media having a lawyer, like a lawyer representing media organizations being like, hey, that's not chill and cool that you as a judge are making a decision to protect this man's identity for fear of embarrassment, when it's like, that's not your job as a legal representative. Because the reason that this man's name is being suppressed is because it's like, oh, well, this could be reputational damage to him. And it's like, okay, why is that? That's A, not relevant to this case. And B, why the fuck do you care? You're a judge, not, like, protecting this guy's, you know.
Guy.
Exactly.
I have a question. So is it, why would it have gone public? What was going to go public again?
So what was going to go public is the fact that the plaintiff and the high-profile figure were having an affair. Yeah. Basically, the defendant in this case is accused of...
But that was going to go public as part of something, right? Like, just because the case was going ahead and that goes on the public record?
Yeah, basically.
Right.
Like, because it's going to be like, when they ask the guy, like, you know, he's being charged with, like, attempted extortion, they're going to ask details about the attempted extortion. And he's going to be like, it's going to be, they'll have to say it in the case. Like, otherwise they can't, like, it's like, oh, yeah, I said that my ex was having an affair with blah blah blah, and the ex
And,
can be
yep.
like, well, that's true or not true, but it's a matter of legal record.
It
like, if
is,
it's not
yeah.
suppressed, then anybody can report on it or
It's
look it up.
kind of the only salient thing
Yeah.
is like who that person is, because it's like,
Yeah.
you know, if it's not a high profile person, then it's like, well, that's nothing. You're
Yeah.
not even blackmailing someone, really.
Exactly. And
depending
part-
on how high profile that person is, it's like, well, how much pressure? Yeah,
Exactly. And part of the issue is that the judge was kind of standing on being like, oh well, I'm actually not preventing. This isn't what was said, but basically the implication was the extortioner wants this high profile man's name public and smeared to get back at his like ex-partner. By giving the public this high profile man's name, we are achieving what the extortionist wanted. Which, okay, I can kind of see that, but like legally there's no basis for that. Like that's not like what's the
so he's
what-
basically saying that by publishing it, the crime actually happens when it hasn't happened yet.
yeah,
That'd be fine if they talked about it before.
you know,
They should have planned this before they went to fucking
should've
court, but two
fucking
fucking light
worked it out.
motherfuckers.
I know,
You're
right?
fucking lawyers.
Like, what are you
You should have
doing?
told, because like, yeah, I'm sure they could have been like, hey, we're not going to say the person's name.
Yeah.
But I mean, if both sides were like, we think it's relevant who it
yeah,
actually
both sides
is.
are just like, we don't care if people know about who this guy is. Actually, we're dealing with a separate thing. He's like, you know, ancillary to this whole thing. He's like, of course, a critical component of it, but he's not involved in the legal proceedings.
Yeah, but who he is important.
Yeah.
Because of what the proceedings are.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's wild. It's wild.
Yeah. So, you know, we'll see.
By now, something else, when you're hearing this, something else might have happened.
Exactly. We'll see if if the name is revealed.
Yeah, if it is.
Who
we'll put a little
who we
note in.
suspect it is.
Yeah.
We'll put a drop in if we're allowed to.
Yeah. We'll put some kind of drop in. Listen, I think we should talk about some people that it's not. We know that. Who are some high-profile Queenslanders that it's definitely not?
That it's definitely not.
Yeah. It's not Kath and or Kim, if they're Queenslanders. It's
Yeah,
not
you know.
Margot Robbie.
That's true. It's probably not Jacob Elordi. I think he's quite busy most of the time.
Probably not Jacob Elordi. Is Thor from here?
I don't
Chris
know.
Hemsworth?
Is he a Queenslander? I don't know.
Queenslander!
Is he a Queenslander?
They just say Queenslander. I've been telling everyone I don't understand this because you're just saying your ethnicity.
Yeah, Queenslander.
No one else that you just say that you're like Queenslander.
Queenslander.
Right? That's not anyone else's chant ever. No one else is doing that. No one else is saying the demonym for who they are. They're saying where they're from, or they're saying like I'm a blah 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 as part of a song. But they like think about it.
Think about this one for me though. I'm a.
Camber Milk Kid. No, but that's unrelated. That's unrelated, and that's unfair. It'd be like if we as Canberrans were like Canberran.
Some are though.
No, I think you
Yanni,
say
some are
Canberra.
though. No, I don't know.
Do they say the demonym?
I don't know.
I feel like you say the name of the place. You say like Australia rather than like Australian.
Yeah, I guess that's a good
It sounds
point.
weird,
Yeah,
right?
it does sound weird.
Indian.
Except Queenslander.
It's you don't go like Queensland.
No. Queenslander.
But the Hemsworths are from Melbourne.
From Melbourne?
Yeah.
Yeah, fucking would be.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I guess we'll find out what happens with this high-profile man and whether we ever get
High-profile
him...
Queenslander.
Queenslander! And we'll see if we ever get a name. Pretty excited for us too. But let's move on to the next thing. Yardi,
On
are
to
you
the
excited?
next one.
Next,
On to
we're
the
talking
next
about... ANU scandals during Julie Bishop's tenure caused $100 million in reputational damage, university estimates.
Reputational damage.
Now look, here's... I'll get this out the gate. Julie Bishop didn't harm the ANU in any way the ANU wasn't already fucking harming itself.
No. The Vice Chancellor's never done anything.
Exactly. The mood of staff at ANU is usually mutinous.
They hate it.
They hate it there. The management class are really just a bunch of fucking losers with no concept of empathy, and the only reason Julie Bishop's abhorrent behaviour is getting a mention in the news is because she's a public figure, like our Queenslander.
Queenslander.
Now, Nobody cares when the exact same kind of behavior is happening by some, like, I don't know, American expat with the character of Professor Umbridge. Not that I'm talking about anyone in particular that I worked with at ANU, but, you know.
Hey, you hear that they think the universe's rate of expansion actually might be slowing down?
Damn.
Unrelated.
Anyway, so it's a dog shit university,
Hate it.
and I wouldn't recommend going there or studying there unless you love bullshit, right? And I'll ask
Bullshit.
you about some of your experiences there in a moment.
Oh, damn.
But first, speaking of shit,
Speaking of shit.
I have to get something off my chest, and it's an
And
experience.
it's all this shit.
It's all this shit. It's an experience I had at ANU that is truly unforgettable. Probably one of the foundational cornerstones of my memories of ANU.
Oh my god.
Yeah, pretty big stuff. In February of 2019, the Di Riddell Student Centre opened in Canberra, which is ANU's new centre of campus designed to be deeply unfriendly to students and welcoming to public servants who just happen to work nearby.
Yeah.
Big controversial thing. They fucked over Union Court and made it like this disgusting capitalist hellscape where
Very corporate.
Students can't afford to eat there, but like people who work in the city can. They
Yeah.
can just like wander onto campus and eat there. So stupid.
Yeah.
Anyway, after less than 4 hours open to the public, something unforgettable happened. To me. I'd taken the elevator down from a couple floors up to the ground floor. I went to the bathroom, bought a coffee, and walked back to the entrance to head back up the elevator when I noticed something. An unusual texture to the ground. What was once fresh grey carpet was now brown and mud-like. It seemed to be spilling slowly from a closet beside the elevator, like magma rolls over the edge of a volcano. Then the smell struck. And I realised in abject horror that this was shit. This was human excrement covering, like, the entire corridor. And it's still flowing freely across the floor. I call my office upstairs and say, hey, something's happened downstairs. There's, like, shit everywhere, like human feces. And they think I'm joking. My jester's nature has fucked me in this moment. I'm being serious, I say. Come down and see. I don't know what to do. And for the love of God, take the stairs. They come down, all smiles, waiting to see what silly prank Kieran has cooked up. I point at the turds. This is the most people I can recall disappointing all at once. Bosses call bosses, and the centre shuts for the day. They had to completely remove the carpet as well as remove parts of the shit-soaked walls. And I think this is a cute analogy for ANU itself. It looks nice, if not really fit for purpose, and the moment you try to use anything it offers, it turns to dust in your hands or shit in your hallways.
Shit on your boot.
Yep.
God, what a terrible day.
It was fucked. It was one of my colleagues' birthdays as well. And so when I called up and she answered, she was like, what is there, like a surprise downstairs for me? And I'm like, girl, I'm being so serious. Like, there's a surprise, but it's not like,
Hey,
it's
I'm
a bad
ruining your
one. It's
birthday.
really awful. And then everyone trots downstairs like, oh, and then like, watching their faces fall, I was just like, I'm sorry, but at least you know I'm not lying.
Yeah.
There's poo everywhere.
There's poo everywhere. I don't have a fun joke for you.
Sorry, it's just
I
shit.
know I've built this up to be my magnum opus.
But it's just
but it's
genuine
actually
human
my
poo
magnum
everywhere.
purpose.
Exactly.
There's magnum purpose everywhere.
Fucking great. Anyway, Yanni, tell me something about some of the like experiences you've had at ANU as a student who's gone there, as well as a person who's worked there.
As a student, the dumbest experience I had was a course that taught you about how to be a management level employee in engineering, which was a bit on the nose because it's like we don't even know how to do the engineering.
Well, that's the whole point of the management, right? They're just going to skip you straight over there and be like, don't learn about any of this shit. Just tell people what to do.
Bloke who taught the course was like a mid-50s-ish British guy. And he's like looking at everyone and he's like, so, look, we'll get this out the way. You know, I'm 55 years old. I'm a high-profile Queensland public... No, he's not.
I'm a high-profile Queensland public figure, and I love to shit in hallways.
We're going to build a character by the end of this. No, my second wife, about your vintage, actually. That's his exact words, about your vintage.
Jesus, just
Yeah.
talking to like, what, 20-year-olds?
Yeah, it would have been 20, 21 years old. I remember attending a course once, and I was late to a tutorial for like the only time. I'm so early to everything.
Yeah,
I was
you
late to
are
this
anxiously
tutorial.
early to things.
I'm anxiously late to it, right? So I burst in, and the tutorial's happening in Mandarin because everyone in the room, and there's like 20 students, and the teacher, the tutor, are all Mandarin speakers.
Yeah.
And because I showed up, everybody in the room except for me has to do the class in a language they're worse at.
Yes. Just crazy, right?
And it was like a class with like some, technical mathematics stuff. It's something that like the terminology is really not the thing. It's really just like you can teach this in whatever language.
Yeah, it's just like, hey, here's the equation.
Here's how the equations
Yeah.
work. Everyone was so disappointed.
Oh.
Understandably so.
That's the most people you've disappointed all at once.
That's the most people I've disappointed all at once, just by walking in, and they're
Yeah.
like, okay. And it just proceeds, and everyone's like a bit less happy.
Oh.
They're probably like, oh my
that's
God,
fucked.
we
They're
can
like-
finally just do this like normally.
Yeah.
don't
Oh
have
shit,
to
we can just
fucking
like,
do this in English.
this is
Though.
going to be such an easy class. And then you're just like, sorry, I'm late, everyone. And they're all like, fuck. Fuck.
So that was pretty rough. That was a pretty rough feeling. I was like, wow, I'm really sorry about how
Sorry, everybody.
like how everything's like
gotta-
you all here, and I'm like sorry about being here, but I'm here.
Like I am in this class,
I
unfortunately.
am in this class, unfortunately. So that pretty much sucked. I worked for ANU for a while. We both worked for ANU for a while.
That's how we met.
They pay a lot of money.
They do pay a lot of money
Holy
for
shit.
not a lot of work, or
Yeah.
work that is just like pointless.
Really pointless.
Like pointless work that you have to do, but no one will ever look at.
No one will ever.
They're just like, oh, did you do that? And you're like, yeah. And they're like, wow, here's your paycheck. And it's like, thanks. I could lie to you. I could just lie to you.
Yeah.
Who would know?
Who would know? And they'll also pay you for I mean, back in the day, but now they're crunching all the money down.
They're cracking it down.
But-
I mean, the amount of like redundancies anyway that were taking place
Yeah,
while
constantly.
we worked there. Always somebody was getting made redundant. Like there was a school that I worked at ANU that maybe like the year before I started working there, everyone in the school was fired and told that they had to reapply for their jobs.
Yeah.
Basically. And my direct supervisor at that place was really lucky because she was like, I was lucky that she was like, oh, I'm not a permanent staff member, so they couldn't technically fire me with my contract because I was contracted out until like, XYZ point in time. So it was just like all the permanent staff who got fired. And she was like, well, I guess I'm still here. And like a bunch of people just obviously didn't get their jobs back.
Yeah. They chop
And
it frequently.
they do this all the time.
And then they
will
fire a
gather
bunch of
everybody
people.
they'll gather everybody in a room and then be like, anyway, sorry, everybody here no longer has a job. If you'd like to have a job some more, you can make an application. But also we're cutting the amount of jobs by 50%. So now all of your colleagues are your competition. Good
Yeah.
fucking luck.
Yeah. Fuck
And it's
y'all.
just fucked. It's just fucked. Like the amount of people who've had breakdowns and just like gone a bit crazy because of it. Fair
Yeah.
enough.
And all of this is to have the privilege of doing a job where at the back of your mind while you're doing it, like, this can't really be important.
And
can it?
working for people who just suck. Like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of people who suck in this world, and most of them are going to be in management positions. But there is a special type of suck for the people who worked at ANU in managerial roles.
Yeah.
Like, there is a really, like, because you and I have also worked in the public service.
Yeah.
I would say I had like less of a problem with people in the public service who were managers. Maybe
at
it's because I
ANU.
was older.
No.
But the people at ANU were like insidious in like a really fucked up way. People
I
in the
agree.
public service were just like, I don't care. I'm here to make money, do the job. And you're like, okay, I can understand that.
Yep.
People at ANU wanted to harm you psychologically if
Yeah.
you didn't do what they wanted. It,
It
was
was
so
so-
fucked.
it was
so
really
fucked.
fucked.
The bullying campaigns there were heinous.
Yeah, the way that staff would treat each other. I remember trying to be an upstart student journalist, but not knowing what I was doing, and trying to, and I talk about this a lot, but trying to write a story about campus rape based on someone's experience. And I spoke to a few staff members about it, who I think the funniest moment in retrospect is when like a senior staff member is kind of like, I say to him, we know that there's a massive issue on university campus with sexual assault, with rape. And he's like, we need to wait to see the statistics before we say anything like that. Like less than a year later.
And then the report comes
the
out and
Human
it's
Rights
like
Commission
ANU,
report.
massive rape
Yeah,
campus.
ANU, the worst rape campus. And it's like, man, I wish I could talk
Like, I
to him.
fucking got you now, you son of a bitch.
But there's a detached game that they're playing even when
Yeah.
they're doing this. Like the frustrating thing is talking to somebody, and I mean this is something that I think management is built to do this in general, but is talking to somebody about something that you're emotional about and they're not emotional about is
Yeah.
really difficult because
Yes.
you will always feel as though you're losing the conversation.
Yes, because they're not willing to engage. They are stonewalling you.
Yeah.
Like it's just being like, nope, in that moment they stop being a person that you can have a conversation with and they become an instrument of the organization.
Yeah.
And you can't reason with an organization
Yeah.
because they don't exist and they don't have a conscience.
Yeah.
Like that's not real. That person doesn't exist anymore when you're having that conversation. And
Yeah.
it feels like shit because
It
you can
feels like
see them
shit.
and you know them and you're like, we have conversations, but the second they make that decision to step in and become the like avatar of the university's reputation or the organization's reputation, you've lost them. That's
Yeah.
it. You can't have that conversation
No.
anymore.
And like you're taken in by this. Suddenly, this person is performing a role, and their entire demeanor changes. The way they're talking to you changes.
Yes.
And I think this is, in general, a thing that happens in these sorts of big workplaces.
Absolutely.
Where someone's closing ranks.
Absolutely.
But then, in theory, you might see that person again,
yeah.
and you have to act as though you didn't see that.
You didn't see like
It's-
the beast come out briefly, and be
It's-
like, oh,
it's-
okay, I can still see you like a regular functioning person and not part of this institution.
Part of the institution. It's
yeah.
the moment
part of
where-
the crew, part of the ship, whatever.
Well, because you can't quite say this is a waste of everyone's time when you're in an office job. Even
They
though
don't like it when you say
they really
that.
don't
They really
like it
don't
when
like
I say that. Like this is.
You'll notice how we don't work in offices anymore.
You'll notice that it's just you'll notice that I don't want to just scroll down an Excel sheet of social media statistics
You know,
because I'm not doing that.
I'm not doing that.
I'm not doing that shit.
It's done.
I mean, I think AI does that now. Who knows? But all that being said, you do kind of think, and you have a relationship with some people you work with, that like everyone kind of knows
Yeah.
that this is a bit of a laugh.
Yes.
And you're like, at some point they're doing a serious job, and then you're there for like 3-4 months, and you're like, everything's kind of a bit of a laugh. People are mostly just spending time approving emails to each other.
Yes, very much so.
Like all day,
Yeah.
writing reports that no one's going to read.
Yeah.
Except for the people writing the same report next year, right?
Yeah.
Like, stuff that maybe someone will use one of a million. It's stuff that capitalism allows for, where it's
Yeah.
like, well, if we just do data collection on everything, the times we'll
Something
need it,
will
we'll
work.
have it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when you get to a point where somebody kind of shows themselves to be a true believer, whether it be like, hey, I'm keeping this fucking job for my whole fucking life, and I'm moving up, and
Yeah.
you're threatening that,
Yeah.
or it's like, I take my responsibility to the Australian government extremely seriously, which
Like,
I've heard
oh, okay.
once from
Yeah.
one of the silliest people I've ever met. But I've heard that once. And you can't quite function in that world the same way after that happens in
No.
an organization, because then you can't
It's
quite trust
alienating.
anyone else.
Exactly.
And
it
the-
others you from the situation, and people that you do develop a relationship with and you have a fondness for outside of the workplace, like people who you might meet in the workplace and become friends with.
Yeah.
Then you see them at work performing that function and you're like, oh, that's really weird. That's
Yeah.
really fucked, because outside of it, we have the same thoughts,
Yeah.
but you get here and you completely change. And so it's like, okay, well, was any of that external to this true, or do you really slob at the knob of our like supervisors and managers
Yeah.
like that?
Do you
Like, what is
actually-
this? Do you actually believe this?
Do you actually believe this? Do you actually believe that person's skill and capability in any way like exceeds yours? Like when you see somebody that you know is extremely intelligent, capable, you have a great time with them, and then you see them kind of like acquiescing and genuflecting towards some like slovenly old fucking ex-footy player
God.
who quickly rose to an executive level in the public service.
Yeah.
Who doesn't fucking do shit.
Yeah.
And you, like, on the one hand, hey, that's how you
That's
get
how you
paid.
move up.
That's how
Yeah.
you get paid.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's how you get paid. It's how you get paid. But
Not if you're at ANU.
not if
you're gonna
at
get fucking
ANU.
fired.
You're gonna get fucking fired. Although they're safe jobs. And I do think this thing about the reputational damage, I wonder if that's just like no one has a problem with Brian Schmidt. No one had a problem with any previous chancellor, but as you said,
guess-
Julie Bishop's famous.
Yeah, she's a public figure.
Which means
Keep
that people
talking about those, but
like have a there's
people have opinions on it. People didn't care about Brian Schmidt or like what was it, Ian something or other.
Ian Chubb was one, and then I think there was a different
another
guy
one.
named Ian who,
Yeah.
when I started, then it
Yeah.
turned to Brian Schmidt.
Like nobody fucking knew these guys. Like they were known on campus because of their position.
They were sometimes known on campus. Like Brian
Yeah.
Schmidt was known. The
Brian
previous
Schmidt was
guy,
popular.
I don't think he was really known unless
No.
you were engaged.
Yeah, and like again, it's Julie Bishop is a genuine celebrity who like when she left politics to join ANU, it was a big fucking deal.
It was
And
a
I
big
think
deal.
ANU really wanted to have it work. And like, you know, sorry, Grady, I guess it didn't fucking work out.
Yeah, it didn't work out, and it's not going to keep working out. Who's Grady?
Grady Melville? Grady, she's the fucking like
Vice Chancellor?
Yeah.
Right. Oh, yeah, because she's the Chancellor. Schmidt was the Vice Chancellor.
Yeah.
Which, it doesn't matter. But, yeah, like... At the
Yeah,
end
like
of the,
good fucking luck, everybody.
At the end of the day, there's people who commercially, I suppose, wouldn't want to associate with Julie Bishop.
No, and like
Whereas there's not people who commercially wouldn't want to associate with whoever the fuck it was before.
I get the draw, but it was a really dumb move considering the ACT, like Canberra, where ANU is such a Labor stronghold.
Yeah.
To have a, like, you know, an iconic Liberal figure suddenly heading an educational institution at a time where there was a lot of critique being leveled on educational institutions like the ANU, like other universities, and pressure from the right. Like, it just feels like a dumb move. It
think
just feels
they-
kind of stupid.
I think they were banking on her having been a successful female politician in Australia.
Yeah.
One of the probably 3 or 4 most high profile
Well, yeah.
over the past couple of decades.
the others are Julie Bishop and Penny Wong.
One of the 3 or 4 over the past... No, but like, especially at 10 years ago or whatever.
Yeah.
And also... I mean...
ANU's also just been hemorrhaging money, so they're
It's been
clearly trying to
hemorrhaging
like
money. They're
draw
clearly-
any amount back that they can.
They-
They really are just like so fucking broke.
Yeah, and it's falling
Despite
apart under
everything,
it. Like
yeah.
the economics courses, like so obviously I studied economics there. One thing that I definitely noticed is that every single course started with a revision of everything we'd done up till that point.
Hilarious.
So like micro and macro 3, we didn't learn anything new until like week 11, week 12 of the 14 or 13 week semester, because it was just like, we're going to just rehash everything because everyone did it in different ways and shit like that. Just like redoing supply and demand charts over and over again. But like, I think they were, banking on like, yeah, people are going to be like, oh, she's a female professional.
Yeah.
We're like about making girl bosses here.
Yeah.
And it didn't really work. It didn't
No.
like crash
Do you
and
know why?
burn.
Because like girls get raped at ANU.
Girls
Like,
get raped at ANU.
If you're not going to
ANU's
address
a scam.
and it's a scam, and if you're not going to address all the issues with the institution and you keep just putting like flashy bandages on it, the wound is rotten. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't matter how you dress it up. It's
Yeah.
fucked. It's bleeding. Come
It's
on
really
now.
bleeding. A lot of it is that like Canberra's a bit of a scam.
Yeah.
The whatever ANU was when Canberra was smaller, it's a different thing now that Canberra's
Yeah.
bigger and like professionalized in a different way.
Yeah. And has
so-
more than like, one university.
Yeah. And UC's right there being like employing the
Yeah, UC once again is always advertising like the most employable university.
Exactly. Should have gone there. Anyway, that's
that's ANU.
Yeah.
That's
shout
ANU.
out, hey, all of our ANU based listeners, we know who you are.
Come on, ANU heads. Let's go
Hey.
anus heads.
Let's go anus heads. Hey, go someone find that statue of Winston Churchill.
Yeah.
And admire it.
Yeah.
Admire its
Yeah.
skinny little ankles.
Skinny little ankles. But now that we've ranted about ANU for a bit, I reckon we should move on to the next article.
Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. This one is a This is one of the articles of all time.
It's a whopper.
Yeah.
It's a doozy.
Doctor fined $30,000 for self-publishing unauthorized picture book of patients.
Hey, that's what we do. We hustle. You got to have your side hustle.
You've got to have your side hustle. Now, Yanni, I would like you to read the back page blurb of this book.
So there's, I imagine, a picture of an x-ray.
Yeah, so there's a picture of like an x-rayed hand above. I can't work out what's wrong with it other than it might maybe have just been like straight up like removed from the body. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
Like I can't see where the like wrist bone is. You know?
Right, so it's like...
so it might just be like a fucking like severed hand.
A severed hand.
Anyway, so this is what the back cover says.
What is notable about the x-ray pictured above? This book has a picture or 3 for each day of the year. It is a random collection of ECGs, x-rays, EEG traces, screenshots, blood gases, anesthetic records, intraoperative oddities, bizarre cases, historical entries, novelty items, and anesthetic-related esoterica. Anesthetic-related erotica.
Erotica. I know, every time he has like esoterica, because he uses
says
that word a
esoterica a
lot. I'm just like, sorry?
Many of the images have a puzzle or question relating them with answers on subsequent pages. From the author of The Cynical Anesthetist and The Bored Anesthetist comes a lavishly illustrated book that manages to include such disparate topics as Kermit the Frog, a rat burger, and Wolverine. Look at all the different things I talked about in my book.
You know?
Kermit, rat burger,
Wolverine.
It's like, come on, man. Learn who was given 6,700 milligrams of IV methotrexate and who anesthetized Australia's heaviest man. There are pictures to make you wonder, make you wince, and make you say, WTF?
There we go. Wank thuck, it's Friday.
Jesus, that's a long blurb as well. For
It
the back
is.
Of the
It's
book.
the whole back of the book.
And it's just what, 1 page a day is like a different just picture of someone's X-ray.
Pretty much. It's something along those lines. But here's the basic facts of the story. So, Dr. Lachlan Wrathy, who was an anaesthetist at Toowoomba Hospital in Queensland, published a picture book in 2023, including confidential patient information, photos of unconscious patients, and commentary on their bodies, health, and medical treatment. One of these cases was a child with testicular torsion, and yes, he included a photo of this.
Of the twisty balls.
Of this kid's, like, balls all fucked up.
Yeah, I had a friend who went to hospital for testicular torsion.
Hey, he might be in this picture book.
He was there for like 3 weeks. It was a long time ago, but yeah.
Luckily, only 8 copies of the book were sold.
8?
8. 5 being sold to the US. 3 here in Australia. And then, in addition to that, Lachlan made sure to get 15 copies for himself to give to friends, family, colleagues, and of course to have at the hospital for shits and gigs.
Yeah, right. Here's a book of some x-rays.
Yeah, and pictures of naked people and, like, you know, details. Anyway, obviously the book is no longer being sold. I checked its Amazon listing. It is no longer being sold. And a couple of his other books have also been removed. So he's actually got, yeah, while we're here, we might as well, oh, this one might be a bit risky as well. He's actually got, I think, like 6 books. So there's another 2 kind of like novelty books. Actually, there's 3 other kind of novelty books. So you've got The Cynical Anesthetist, which was mentioned, The Bored Anesthetist, which was mentioned, and The Anesthetist's Companion. And there's also a kind of personal journal that he published called...
Sleeping person.
You know, what he called What I Learnt in OT Today. And then his 2 most popular books are like more like informational books rather than like, well, this is what I do in my day as an anaesthetist, which are the ANZCA Primary Exam Companion and The First Year, What You Should Know After a Year of The First Year, What You Should Know After a Year of Anesthesia Training.
Hey, we're fucking
This word
troopers.
fucking sucks.
We're fucking troopers for doing an episode about an anesthetist.
Writing it down, every single time I wrote it down, I fucked it up. Like, I'd say there's probably maybe 3 times I wrote down the word that I didn't get the squiggly red line and go like, fuck, and then have to go back. Or I just like jammed my fingers on the keyboard going like, I'll remember later.
And it doesn't look like it says anesthetic and then anesthetist and
It's just the pronunciation is different, but the spelling begins the same.
Anesthetist.
It's such a thing.
Anesthetist.
Anyway.
Why can't we say anesthetist?
Anesthetist? Anesthetist.
Yeah, and like anesthetic, anesthetist.
Fucking
Anesthetist.
anesthetist.
All right.
Miola. So I read a little bit of The First Year. for a bit of flavor to imagine what the picture book might have actually read like. Because I
Yeah.
was like, okay, well, how does this guy write? Like,
Yeah.
what is he on about? It's like 300 pages long, so obviously I didn't read the whole thing. And the majority is medical jargon, like how much to prescribe for what in what situation, how to intube like a patient, like whether you need to do X, Y, or Z, and what like drugs to use.
So it's actually like educational.
It's educational. It's like, hey, after your first year of training, you probably should know all of these things.
Right.
And it just goes through a bunch of situations. But the tone is really conversational. Like, other than the actual like medical terms, I felt like I was following along pretty well with like what was being like described. Like it was like, I imagine like having a mentor explain these things to you. Like it was like a genuinely like easy read.
Yeah.
If I could
yeah.
understand, like, you know, and then you administer XCCs of propanol or whatever.
What all the-
and I'm like,
yeah.
okay.
Right, okay.
So there's some jokes in there. And there's absolutely some opinions in there as well. This isn't just like a straight textbook kind of thing. He's like it's very conversational.
Damn. Does he have good opinions?
Well, for example, he thinks that when anesthetizing children, you shouldn't use rectal methods because it's distasteful. Shout out. He's like, don't put anything in kids' butts.
All right, you know,
I'm going to be real with you for that.
Hey.
He did take a picture of kids' balls, but that's different, I guess. He coined a term NFT. Now, it's not what you think NFT is.
No fucking tway.
Nope, it's normal for Toowoomba. And that's what he uses when discussing obese patients.
Oh, that sucks for Toowoomba.
Yeah.
Just catching a big old stray.
He's just like 2/3 of Toowoomba's obese, so I just say they're NFT.
Yeah.
Normal for Toowoomba.
Normal
Anyway.
for Toowoomba.
And he seems to have like a massive gripe with obstetricians, which is really, really funny for some fucking reason. He fucking hates them.
Who are obstetricians again?
They are the ones that assist in childbirth.
Yeah, right. And he hates them.
He hates obstetricians.
Well, because he probably is just like, why don't we just put him under?
Well, no.
Why don't we just put the pregnant women under?
That's the thing. Weirdly enough, that's the thing. That's what the obstetricians sometimes are like, yeah, we'll just knock him out. And he's just like, you can't do that.
Oh.
Given what is happening with her body with pregnancy, you can't be fucking doing that.
Yeah,
Anyway,
right.
but there's a few sections in the book called Light Relief, where Lachlan includes an anesthetic meme of some variety. So one is titled The Anesthesia Subspecialty Algorithm, and it's one of those yes-no flowcharts. And the obstetrics endpoint has an asterisk that says, honestly, no one chooses to do obstetrics.
Oof.
So I'll give you a little look at this this humorous flowchart.
Yeah, old school flowcharts. Okay, so let's start. Do you have FANSCA?
Could also be termed as past primary. So I guess this is like, hey, are you qualified?
No. So I'm an OP anaesthetist. Oh, I'm a GP anaesthetist. You don't need to be qualified to...
Don't fucking know. This is probably some specialty qualification.
All right. Do I like money? Let's say I was qualified to
Okay.
be an anaesthetist.
Yanni, do you like money?
No.
No? Okay. Are you good at amusing yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Do you like hearts or do you like brains?
That's such a deep question, Karen, now that you mention it.
Yeah.
And I can't believe that in all our years of marriage, I've never
asked
me
you
that.
this, yeah.
So the thing about a person's heart that is more interesting to me than their brain is that
All right, you're a cardiac anaesthetist. Yay!
through eating their heart, you can gain their spirit, you can gain
God
their
damn it.
soul, you can gain their energy. Whereas through eating their brain, you will actually just gain their hauntings, gain their depression, gain their melancholy. And so, you know, I said I was good at amusing myself.
Yeah, I guess so. You're right. You're right. You're right.
All right, I'm going to be a cardiac anesthesiologist. That's great.
Yeah, so this is one of those things that he's got in the book. He's got like a handful of like little charts and goofy little memes in there for people. You know, obviously this is so deeply like specialized.
Yeah.
Like I don't understand any of the connotations here other than like, yeah, his little note being like, honestly, no one chooses obstetrics.
Honestly, no one chooses. Okay, so how do you get to obstetrics?
To get to obstetrics, you need to
Okay, I find it. Okay, so
Yeah.
good with kids. Okay, so you're not good at amusing yourself. So you need something to do.
Yeah.
You don't mind a bit of noise.
Mm-hmm.
You're not good with kids.
I think it is you're good with kids. Not good with kids.
You are...
But you're married.
You are married.
And if you're male, you go to ortho, and female, you go to obstetrics.
Right, so if you're a married woman who's not good with kids and bored but happy to be in a noisy environment. You'll be a childbirth anesthesiologist or whatever.
Yeah. Now, there's also another one that I've got for you, which shows a chart of an obstetrician gynecologist's brain with sections like midwife hate zone and interest in women as a person cell. It's quite small.
Right, so he hates obstetricians.
And blame dispersal node.
Oh, no.
And appreciation of anesthetic skill cell with the asterisks on there saying not identified to date.
Oh, they haven't found it. Oh,
There
look
it
at
is.
this. We've got the obstetrician's brain. You've got a brain diagram. It's got 4 segments there of fetching: blue, green, other green, and red. Red is stuff to think about when I'm in colposcopy. I'm sure that would hit so hard if I was an anesthetist.
You know, there's some highlighted notes we have here are so the appreciation of the anesthetic skill, absolutely not.
No appreciation of anesthetics.
The blood loss estimation nucleus. This is something he's got a gripe with, where obstetrics professionals seem to be like, oh, they're losing blood, but it's not that much. And the anesthesiologist is like, it's too much blood. It's too much blood.
Right.
Then we've got the distress center, which is right at the front. And the note for the distress center is...
extensive neural connections to most of the brain's major centers.
yeah, basically being like, this person's always fucking freaking out.
Oh, the litigation mitigation complex. Right. So that's all in the litigation mitigation complex.
Yes.
You hate the midwife. You don't care about the anesthetist. Liberal transfusion region.
Yeah,
So that's
as
just
in
like,
they're
we'll
just
just give
like,
him heaps of
we'll just
blood.
keep on giving them blood and shit.
Right.
Which anesthetists are like, please don't do that.
Please don't keep giving them blood. Also, they're
fucks with all of my stuff,
They're
and
losing
then-
a lot of blood.
Yeah. And
Right.
so, like, the obstetrics section of the book in particular also has a lot of opinions on care during childbirth. One being that he's got a quote there saying, "You are the only person in the theatre whose primary responsibility is the mother. You are her advocate. Better a dead baby than a dead mother. If you don't share this sentiment, you shouldn't be an anesthetist."
Right. Okay. So he's like pro-choice.
Yeah.
But also, so like, should I hate obstetricians?
I don't know. That's
He's
the thing.
making,
I don't
like-
know. He's just got this weird grudge about it. And I
Is
think
it a
it's,
weird grudge, or is this like do you reckon this is a thing?
I have no fucking clue. I was like, this is wild. But anyway, apart from, this was something when I was like reading about him and I wanted to like go immediately to the sections that like were, you know, potentially a little bit like iffy. So there
Yeah.
was like discussions on like, you know, pregnancy. There was discussions about like kids anesthetizing, which was like kind of funny. And I understand why, like the way he described it, I was like, that sounds really stupid, but it makes complete sense.
Right.
With like anesthetizing kids.
Yeah.
Because it's
not
like,
putting it in their butt.
not putting it in their butt for starters, but also like, you know, him being like, yeah, you know, sometimes you have to tell them a silly story and then be like, uh-oh, the mask is going to be really smelly in a moment. And like, that's for kids who are being obedient. He does have this section where he talks about kids who like throw tantrums and are just like, I'm not going under, like are refusing to do it. And like, basically he has them sit on the bed and put on the mask and like they slowly kind of like release the like knockout gas or whatever. And he kind of like awkwardly stands behind them. And like, if the kid like, you know, like, and the parent can like sit next to them and hold their hand and stuff like that. So they've got someone there. But, or like if the kid's small enough, they can sit on the parent's lap.
Yeah.
And then he will just like, if they start to like struggle with the mask, he'll like come behind them like a murderer and like hold their head with the mask.
Like he's gonna
To keep
snap their necks.
No, to keep the seal of the mask on
Oh
their face.
my God,
like
he'll
to
just-
hold them and stuff.
Oh,
Because
he'll just
otherwise, if it
press
leaks,
them into the mask.
just so it seals, and then they're like, and then like within like, you know, 5 seconds they're out, right? But just his like,
it looks like he's chloroforming them.
yeah, his description of it, he was just like, look, I don't like that this happens, but sometimes you are going, and like, and he was also like, listen, you're also going to have to explain to the parent, like before this, what is going to happen if there's an issue like that.
Yeah.
Like if the kid is not cooperating, you have to gas them though.
I'm gonna gas
like
the
I'm
kid.
gonna gas the kid.
Hey.
They will not remember any of this.
Hey,
like
Dad,
with
come
the
over
drugs
here.
that we gas them with, they're not going to remember a fucking thing. But you are going to remember this, and you
You're
are
gonna
going to be
remember this.
distressed. And I'm
You're
so
gonna be
sorry. but I have to do this so your child can have surgery.
Hey, I'm gonna sneak up behind your kid, put something to their face, and they're gonna pass out. It's fine.
It's chill. You can be in the room while it
chill.
happens. Like,
Kid's gonna
that's
be
not a
screaming,
problem.
and then they're gonna suddenly stop screaming.
It's like, and I'm so sorry, and that's really freaky, but I do have to do this.
Just like pouring something on a rag.
You know, like, so that part I was like, I read it and I was like, you've actually written this with as much tact as I can imagine you can have when being like, I'm going to gas a child. And
Yeah,
they're going to be
no.
resisting. They're going
Hey.
to resist and I'm going to have to fight to gas them.
That's something I'm happy to learn about that anesthetists have to deal with.
You
That's
know?
a funny little part of a job.
And yeah, aside from all of that, like, I imagine his book of unconscious bodies was, look, it's not going to have been tasteful. It's going to be, like, given some of the tales of what was in there, like, you know, about stuff shoved up people's butts and, like, the fat people he's had to, like,
Yeah.
you know, put under, and the picture of children's genitals that he's put on
That's
there.
wild to put a
and,
picture in.
Like, you know, just...
Like, telling that story is one thing. I already don't like it.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's a thing that happens.
It's fucked. And, like... Anyway, so Lachlan has apologised for his egregious book and admitted that he had no reasonable explanation for taking photos of sensitive and confidential information or for publishing information that was sensitive and confidential, unprofessional, offensive, and disrespectful. He's been fined $30,000, as we said in the headline, and he was stood down from Toowoomba Hospital in 2023 before resigning in 2024, and this is like the charge has now been dropped for the $30,000 fine. As of today, he works in a few smaller hospitals, like down the East Coast. He's basically like a locum anaesthetist. In that he has no home base. He just kind of like goes from place to place.
Goes from place to place.
Yeah.
He's like a nomadic anaesthetist.
Yeah, you know.
Man, I would hate to be in some kind of fight, some kind of war with anaesthetists.
Yeah.
I wouldn't feel safe doing anything. Like, oh.
They're like, fucking gotcha, and they jab you with
Yeah,
something.
they just fucking jab you with something, put it in your drink.
And you're like, fuck.
They got masks.
Put 'em in
and
your
shit.
butthole?
Put it in your butthole. They're hiding in your toilet.
Judge me, Ola.
Judge me, Ola. You know, listen, I was having coffee yesterday. There was an anaesthetist in my coffee.
Get out of there, you little fucking scamp.
Try to flick him away. He held on so tight because he has needle fingers.
Because he's got needle fingers. Hey, speaking of
Needle
speaking
fingers.
of needle fingers, or in fact little scamps, let's go on to our
Little
last
scamp.
article.
What's our third? What are we talking
Let's
about?
go.
Oh, yeah. I love migrants. One Nation MP Jason Virgo breaks down during maiden speech in South Australia Parliament.
That's right.
This is crazy. So
All right.
funny.
So basically,
Basically.
So, okay.
Jesus Christ. That's
Jason Virgo.
Yeah.
He's a recently elected One Nation figure in South Australian Parliament.
Surprisingly a Pisces.
Surprisingly, I don't know. In his maiden speech, he's just like, I'm gay, my boyfriend's Muslim, I love migrants,
Yeah.
and some other shit, right? Which, like, for a headline, obviously incredibly spicy, but there is a
Massive.
bit more to it than that.
There has to be.
obviously. But here's some questions that I have for One Nation.
Hey.
Did they know he was gay? Did they know he had a Muslim boyfriend of 11 years? Do they do any basic background checks on any of their candidates? Like,
They've had a few issues lately, huh?
yeah.
They got a dude who might be kicked out.
How the fuck does Jason Virgo think his tenure with One Nation is going to go? How long does Jason stay with One Nation? And do you think he retires or is kicked out?
Oh,
These are the
he's-
questions.
You know, he's going to be a One Nation MP
Lifer?
for the rest of his life.
Jesus.
Yeah, he's going to drag the party left on some things.
All right, so
Fucking hell, like because they this is their third bizarre thing.
yeah.
Because they had the guy who's a rapist, Aoi or whatever, right? They have a guy right now who I saw like a constitutional expert said that he's ineligible to serve because he has, you know, shares or something, contracts with Snowy Hydro, and they have contracts with that part of the state or whatever. And now this situation, Jason Virgo is like, I love my gay Muslim boyfriend.
I love my gay Muslim boyfriend.
Go One Nation! Woo!
I read his maiden speech because I wanted to like understand a bit more, and I did some Googling on him to work out like what's his deal, right?
Yeah.
Like what the fuck is like Jason's deal?
Who's this guy?
Okay, so a bit about Jason. Jason actually comes from a family of staunch Labor supporters. So growing up, his family was like really Labor heavy. As a matter of fact, I don't know if this is true, but I think perhaps one of his like relatives was in Parliament as a Labour figure because he says this quite right in his maiden speech. I am not the first Virgo in this place, and I hope there will be many more to come, although I do not know what the last Virgo would have thought of my political allegiances. Now, I think who he's referring to here is a man named Jeff Virgo, who sat for the Labour Party in South Australia from 1968 to 1979.
Right. So grandparent, perhaps.
I think so. And they look vaguely similar. But
Yeah.
then again, that's just two white South Australians. So
But
what
like-
do I fucking know?
Ah,
but
look, how
entirely
many
possible.
Virgos are? I never met
Right,
someone
that's
whose
the
name was
thing,
Virgo.
right? I was like,
Yeah. And he's saying there was, another person with
and this is the only other
name.
Virgo in South Australian Parliament.
This is the only other
historically.
Virgo in South Australia.
So, it's crazy.
No one was born in September.
Ain't
in that
nobody
year.
being born in September over there. Fucking idiots. So Jason joins the Labour Party at 16.
What a fucking nerd.
Yeah, one of that loser shit kind of thing. But he finds himself deeply disillusioned by Rudd's capitulation on climate change. That's a quote.
His capitulation.
Yes. So at 19, Jason switches to the sex party and, is just like, he's like, look, I was second on their ticket for anything, so it never really fucking mattered. Like, I was never going to get a position.
Yeah.
And a few years after this, when he's 22, his dad is injured and can't, keep working. So Jason decides to get a better paying job than fringe political candidate and part-time servo employee. And this is when he gets a security job on Christmas Island.
Oof. He's had quite the life.
Yes.
Christmas Island.
Yes.
Oh, no. He's gone from Labour to sex party to Christmas Island. That's a crazy, late teenage reinvention.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Anyway, so here's some quotes from his maiden speech about this.
Yeah.
There were drownings, there were deaths. I asked many if they would ever take that journey again, and every single one said no. I witnessed self-harm, although not the worst of it by any means. We would often hear of boats that never arrived. For example, we would hear boat 701 was expected the next day, but then boat 702 would arrive, and you would never know what had become of the people from boat 701. Perhaps it had been diverted to Ashmore Reef in Darwin, or perhaps it had sunk. There were likely many more lives lost at sea because they were never even given a number. We were told our case notes would help determine whether people would come to the mainland, but it often seemed everybody came regardless. Many of the people I met seemed like good people, simply searching for a better life. But there were certainly individuals you would not want in this country. During the peak of arrivals, the situation was completely out of control, with thousands of people coming each day.
Right.
So that's him being like, hey, it was kind of crazy. He's still very much, I think, taking the side of oh, it's good that some people were there
Yeah.
in detention.
yeah.
But obviously he was like, oh, but it was pretty sad that a lot of people were there that shouldn't have been there.
Yeah.
know?
It's the end of the issue, right? In terms of how the Australian people understand it. Is these people are coming and they want to come to Australia for a better life. Or whatever. And that's because Australia is just better and where they're from is just worse.
Yes.
There's no interconnected system that,
Creates any of that, right?
creates any of that we benefit from or any of that. And the idea that, and also being there is another thing, right? Working
Yeah.
there in a security context rather than being a politician or something like that. You meet a lot of desperate people.
Yeah.
He's 21 or something doing this?
He's 22.
He's 22.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It would have been a wild experience, for sure. Insane.
Yeah.
But after coming back to the mainland, Jason gets a job on the Mount Gambier Council, as well as a job at the Mount Gambier prison. Because I
Hell
guess
yeah.
he's just doing prison security. He's
Hey.
like, well, this is working, so...
I work in prison
And he's making money,
security
you
now.
know?
Hey, I can make money.
So when I was looking at his profile on One Nation South Australia website, there's no mention of his partner or of being gay, right?
Right.
Similarly, in the handful of articles on him prior to his maiden speech confirming it, they don't mention his partner of 11 years or him being gay.
Right.
Only one of them, which I found, it seems to have been produced by Family First. That party expresses concern over his support for gay marriage in the past. So, when he was part of, the sex party. And
Right.
He was doing,
So they've done some background.
They've done background research, but nobody else has. Anyway, so even though they sort of say they're concerned about his previous advocacy for gay marriage, there's no implication that he's gay or interracial race trading, Muslim Sharia law, 100%.
100%.
2% burnt fuckhead.
2% burnt fuckhead. Fuck me, Dad.
So I've got another quote about his sexuality that he has from his main speech.
During this campaign, I received a phone call from a lovely woman in robe. She told me she did not care about it, but she was just letting me know that people were going around the electorate telling people I was gay. I guess I will never know whether it was intended maliciously, but that was the impression I got from the conversation. The reality is, I have been openly gay throughout my entire adult life. I do not wave the flag in the air as I walk down the street. I prefer people to find out these things naturally. There are times when those of us who are gay feel we have to hide it for our own safety, or sometimes just to avoid social awkwardness. But I would rather my community hear it directly from me than from a potential political opponent or from whispers.
You know, like
Yeah.
it's very much like this was kept quiet.
Yeah.
While he was campaigning, and I don't know. That's one of the questions I have. I don't know if One Nation knew this, or whether, as he's saying, to prevent social awkwardness, he was like, "Well, I just won't let them know that I'm gay until I'm in."
Well, did he keep it quiet from them? Did they
Keep it quiet from everyone?
Because I could see them, like, especially if they think he's liable to win a seat, I could absolutely see them holding their nose and being like, as long as you don't talk about it.
Yeah, we'll just like
I don't see that because they have Asians, you know.
Yeah.
I saw a video of a Fijian Indian guy
Just like,
talking
woo.
about how much he respects Pauline Hanson on that that ABC program.
Wild stuff.
Kept cutting to all these like white people who were like looking concerned.
Just like
I was
you,
like, oh no, what do we do?
you. Well, I mean, it's just like those guys that spoke at the fucking
Yeah.
whatever that shit Take Back Australia rally or whatever the fuck it was.
The Indian guys.
It was just like, hey, we came to this country the right way, and the whole crowd is booing them.
There's
and
plenty
throwing
of
shit at them because they're just like, we don't care, you're brown.
Exactly. There's plenty of like cultural conservatives, cultural nationalists who come here. Because every community has people who are like cultural chauvinists, cultural nationalists,
Yeah.
and who come here and respect Australia's version of that. Because they're like, they want the best for their country, and that's my country, and so we keep people out.
Yeah. It's like, you don't realize that you are part of the cohort that they want out. Or like, if you do realize that, there's like some sort of like it hasn't synced
Yeah.
in your mind that that's like something. You can justify it and be like, oh, well, actually, I'm one of the good people from my own country, one of the desirables from my own country. So why wouldn't I also be desirable here? They clearly must be talking about the undesirables from my country.
Exactly.
Who I also hate.
Yeah, and I think you'll even see that if you talk to people long enough who are like immigrants or whatever, who are One Nation voters, One Nation supporters. I don't know, like, if they're sincerely or kind of in bad faith being like, oh, she just supports her people. And like, I don't know if that's someone who's just like stupid or someone who's just like, we should be allowed to be racist. But I think in either case that could work. But if you press that person enough, you're going to find that they have a similar set of opinions about people in wherever they've left.
It's going to be analogous, right? It's
Exactly.
going to be like, you can just like kind of pick up that idea and put it onto whatever situation, and you'll find someone to fit that mold within their own culture.
Like, I know a lot of Bengali Hindu people are probably feeling as though they have successfully achieved something because Bengal has passed laws, or there have been things in India happening in the political legal sense that are disenfranchising and forcing a lot of Muslim residents of West Bengal to leave. Like someone with that mindset coming here, especially since at the end of the day, it is kind of the same people for some people, right? Like the same people who are
enemy of my enemy or whatever.
Exactly. It's just like, well, I came here, with the skilled migrant visa, blah, blah, blah. Whereas like these people who, they tried to come into where I live. And they were kicked out of there, and now they're coming here. Yeah.
And there's another quote I've got from this guy, which is just a bit more about his partner and like, just how much his life doesn't seem to gel with all of One Nation's theory.
Yeah.
But he says, too often, as my partner knows too well, I do sweat the small stuff. To my partner, Risang, we've built a life together. I think about where we started out, about how much we've grown together, and about how much we've achieved in the 11 years of being together. Thank you for standing by through every high and low, for your faith and support when things felt overwhelming, and for helping me to keep going. You are the love of my life, by my side. Risang was born in Indonesia, a Muslim, and is now a proud Australian. Our closest friendship circle is largely made of immigrants from China, India, and the Philippines. And he goes on to say, like, I love migrants. Migrants rock. But there are too many.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that I find with his speech in general is, on the face of it, it seems confusing, right? Gay guy in an interracial, interfaith relationship.
With a Muslim at that.
With a Muslim at that. The ones that the One Nation hates the most.
Yeah.
Him being part of that party and saying that he actually really admires Pauline Hanson and he really admires all the people in the party who've said, we don't want gays, we don't want Asians, we don't want Muslims. Like, all of that. He is in a lot of ways a typical white gay man in his 30s. And I think there's a self-centeredness to it that he perhaps is not thinking about, like, I don't know, his position in the world and the power that he wields.
Yeah. How this is a betrayal of a lot of people.
Yeah, people he cares about. And maybe those people themselves are fine with that. Maybe they're like, oh, I'm not political. Or maybe they're like, oh, actually, I also support One Nation for whatever goddamn reason. But it's just, it feels so stupid and fucked up.
Yeah.
And I don't understand his perspective at all, other than he's either ignorant or he is racist, regardless of who he's with. Like, he is racist.
Yeah.
And, like, he's also, I think, got probably a lot of internalized homophobia. Like, the whole stuff where he's like, well, I don't brag about it. You know, I don't shove it in people's faces.
I don't shove it in people's
faces. It's the conservative white gay, you know, is still happy to be, or not happy to be, still seeks to use that white male privilege and be on top of the social structure. And we're at a point now in society where being gay and being conservative is, like, accepted enough,
it's
right?
allowed.
Because you're still white. You're still a man. You can still hold that kind of power. That's something that you can have, especially if you have money as well, right? Like, that's something people can ignore. They can be like, okay, that is a flaw, but you're checking all the other boxes. We'll have to make do, right? You know, the enemy is coming.
Yeah.
We have to make do. But it just, it just sucks. Like, it does
reeks. Really suck.
It's
really
fucking
reek.
stupid.
There is something about his story that I think can work with One Nation. The fact that a big part of the One Nation idea is that there's these other countries where they don't have freedom.
Yes.
And they could
Exactly.
probably argue that Risang being from Indonesia, this guy is like, you know, gay Muslim boyfriend.
Yeah, they're not married.
They're not
Also,
married.
yeah.
This guy's gay Muslim boyfriend is like, yeah, you know, he came from a place where he wouldn't have been allowed to do that. The fact that One Nation similarly supports things that would cause Australia's political and social life to perhaps resemble Indonesia's more than it currently does when it comes to queer politics and such, and gay people's lives and whatever, is irrelevant because it's like for a different purpose. The purpose is to say that, you know, this is a story
here
of how Australia is better than all those places.
Yeah, which is crazy because, like, you know, Corey Bernardi, who is, you know, also
In One Nation, yeah. It's a real
was
mess
just
over
like,
there.
was just like, hey, gay marriage leads to bestiality.
Gay marriage leads to bestiality. Corey
And,
Bernardi's
you know,
like...
One Nation was like, gay men beat their kids and stuff.
Yeah,
like, just
yeah.
like all that crazy shit. And it's like, come on, man, you crazy. You
they're
crazy.
like markedly, extremely homophobic.
Yeah.
There's
Islamophobic, racist to the extreme. Like,
Like-
just a bunch of really shit people. And it just, it is crazy that this has happened. Like, how is this not an op? Like, how is this not just like...
real? Like, if One Nation... So I'm going... if One Nation knew, right, his whole situation, and they didn't publicize it, maybe it is, a big part of it is like, he's like, I don't talk about it. Because there are, like, you know, gay members of the Liberal Party.
For sure.
Who just are kind of quieter about it, but there are gay members, queer members of the Liberal Party all around Australia. And so maybe this is an extension of that, the mainstreaming of One Nation. Like, everyone does kind of get something out of this, right? Like, this guy gets to be an MP. Even if he leaves One Nation, he's now an MP.
And One Nation gets to be able to point at a guy, like a gay man in an interracial relationship, and be like, look, we're not homophobic. Look,
Yeah.
we're not racist. Like,
Exactly.
Come on, we got this fucking guy.
This
we got
guy,
Jason Virgo on board.
He believes the things that we believe, even though he's a gay, Muslim man. There's that from a marketing perspective. I mean, there's the pragmatic side of things where One Nation's just like looking at candidates and being
Just like, damn, we
being
really
like,
need boots on the ground.
Well, we really need boots on the ground, but probably I imagine at this point in time, a lot of people who are trying to become One Nation candidates.
Yeah.
Mostly dropkicks.
Yeah.
And they're going, which of these people seem together enough to win a seat?
To actually have their shit together. And not fuck us over again and again and again.
If we go out to see them at their events, like, do people show up for them? That kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
And they're probably supporting those people.
Do they have some sort of reputation in their community?
But they're trying to,
that we can
like,
kinda-
it's, if you think about when Clive Palmer did this, in a sense, and he's probably the loudest one who's done this, come in as a third party and bought a bunch of seats in a bunch of places, which is what, like, at the end of the day, if you pour enough money into something, you can end up being a state representative relatively easily.
Yeah.
The amount of money you need to do that is more than what people have lying around, but it's not in the order of magnitude that it seems extremely flashy. There's not that many people you need to actually convince.
Yeah.
And if you, focus your out, and they have Gina money now.
Yeah.
Which I know is a big source of, in this whole, like, Pauline resurgence, the Pauline renaissance. I think, honestly, some of it is just, like, a fondness for nostalgia.
For sure.
Like, there's no one else from that, well, there's not no one else from that era who's back. Tony Abbott's also back.
God damn it. Yeah.
And he's actually announced...
Maybe finally he's going to shirt front Putin the way we like.
I hope he finally does. He's, like, the president of the Liberal Party. So he's running stuff behind the scenes. He's announced as vice president. And it's another returning character.
Who?
Bronny. It's not Bronny as a jerk. I don't know. I don't know if there's a vice president. For everyone at home, Kieran doesn't like talking about Bronny.
I fucking hate talking about Bronny James. No, not LeBron James, like you might be imagining. His shorter, worse son.
Hey, he's
who
younger.
has a heart condition. Yeah, shorter, younger, worse son. Just let the boy play video games and be rich. He can't. He's had a heart attack on the court. He can't fucking keep. It makes me sick to my stomach. It makes me sick to my fucking stomach.
It makes me sick to my stomachs. You're a cow. And you, like, vomit a little, and then you chew it. Because that's what you do. You're a cow.
That's my cud, bitch.
That's my cud.
That's my cud, bitch. All right, guys, that's been cud with
that's been cud
Yanni
talk.
and Kieran.
That's been big cud talk.
We're so glad that you joined us for this news roundup episode.
Yeah.
I hope you enjoyed. We will be back with probably some more structured stuff in the coming weeks.
Week, I think so. I'm looking forward to it. I finished reading the Anti-Semitism Royal Commission. Like I said, and we'll be talking about, like, I promise it's not just going to be an episode where it's just like, oh, look at these, look at these stupid, evil people saying contradictory stuff, because that's all there. But, we'll have something to think about. And
if you like what we're doing, if you want to support us financially, we would love to have you over on our Patreon, where we will eventually be able to begin doing more things. One of these goddamn days. But we do really appreciate everybody who supports us. You really do make a difference, and
yeah, we appreciate it a lot.
Absolutely. But you can follow us on patreon.com/shouldntacome.
Yeah.
You can also look at our YouTube. The slides for this week are pretty boring, but if you'd like to see them, you can go to our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/@shouldntacome. And if you want to talk to us at all via email, the snail mail of the digital world, you can do so at shouldntacome@gmail.com. In all instances, that is spelled SHOULDNTACOME. We would love to hear from you, and we would love to hear about you. Tell me about you.
Yeah.
And how do you chew cud?
Hey, what's your favorite chud to coo? Wait, what's your favorite cud to chew?
Now, there's a chud in town
What's your favorite
that I'd
chud
love
to
to
coo?
coo. I'm going to coo this fucking chud.
Pow, pow, pow!
Bye.